The time has come to edit, guys. Are you ready to take your drone shots and your drone footage to the next level? Well, a few things that you're gonna need. First, you need drone footage. So you've got to take your drone out, get the right settings, and go film some awesome shots. Now, in case you don't know how to do that, this is not the video. You need to check this link up here for the video I did last week that shows you how to get this bad boy or this bad boy or whatever you have up in the air, get your settings right, and get some nice shots. Now, taking into consideration that you did that and you got yourself some footage, we're going to start with some basic footage that we got from the Mini 2 and then the D-Log footage that we got from the Air 2S. So yep, I'm excited today to run through with you guys my editing workflow. Now, I am not an expert by any means. I do not profess to be any kind of expert. The things that I've learned is from trial and error, watching other YouTubers and YouTube videos, and of course I have a friend who works with Netflix and he edits in DaVinci Resolve. He does all the coloring and he does a lot of filming for them as well. So I learned from him as well. So I'm not an expert, but this is what I do and this is what you can do too. Are you ready to get started? Let's do this. So when you open up DaVinci Resolve for the first time, you will see this Untitled Project. So this is basically where you have to start from. And I'm just going to show you the basic settings to get you up and running. The first thing you're going to do is click at the top where it says File and go over to Project Settings. See where it says Project Settings at the bottom here? Click on that. The main settings, you can screenshot this that you see on the screen right now and change it to yours. Now, timeline resolution 3840 by 2160 is ideal if you're doing 4K or 5K footage and you've got a good laptop like I do. If your laptop is not that good and it's starting to run slow and it can't play back the timeline, then you can start with 1920 by 1080 if you find that your computer's having a hard time playing 3840 by 2160. But start with 3840 by 2160, and then if you're having a problem, then come back here and reduce it to 1920 by 1080. Got it? But if I'm doing 5K or 5.4K with the Air 2S, then I'll put the 5K footage here. 5.4K is 5472 by 3870. So you'll take that and put it into DaVinci basically under here if you're doing the Air 2S. So you might want to do that right away if you're sticking around for the Air 2S footage. But right now I'm just doing the Mini 2, which maxes out at 3840 by 2160. So I'm fine right here. Keep this on square. Keep this on 29.97. Now, if you're using the Mini 2, like I did in my previous video, I had it set to 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second is actually 29.9 seconds. It doesn't shoot 30 flat. It shoots 29.97. And if you don't set it to that, 29.97, and you set it to 30, for example, then it's not going to play properly in DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve, everything has to be matched up. Your timeline has to match up your footage. Everything has to be in sync. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. So if you're using the Mini 2 and you had it set to 30 FPS like me, you're going to select 29.97. If you had it set to 24 FPS with the Mini 2, you're going to set it to 23.976 because it doesn't actually record in 24 FPS. And the same thing with the Air 2S if you're filming with that, or the Air 2 or the Mavic 3 or the Mavic 2 Pro, and pretty much all DJI drones, they do not shoot at the flat frame rate. However, let me take this opportunity to let you know that if you have this drone, the Autel Nano Plus, and in particular all Autel drones, and you're going to be editing their footage, these shoot in flat 30 or flat 60 or flat 24. So if you're flying an Evo and you shot in 30, select 30 because it shoots in 30 flat. If you're flying an Evo and it shoots in 60, select 60 flat. right? Whereas the DJIs select just short of 60, which is 59.94 if you shot in 60 on the DJI. Again, select 29.97 if you shot with the DJIs instead of 30, because they just don't shoot it flat. You get the point. Make sure you do this, very important. Otherwise, your footage is not going to play properly. Now, for video monitoring, you don't really need to change any of the settings. Just leave it just the way it is. Optimize media, you can screenshot this and use my settings here. Right now, I have my proxy files, my cache files, and all that. I have special folders dedicated to that. That's not something you need to do right away just to get started, but eventually, as you start building up a workflow, we'll get into these. So these frame interpolation, I always like to leave it on optical flow, enhanced, and larger. Again, these are all topics that would just take a whole video just to discuss why these settings are the way they are. It's better you just screenshot it right now as it's on your screen and copy those settings to your computer, which is your frame interpolation and your optimized media and cache render settings. So you can screenshot those. Your working folders, you can choose whatever folders you want. Good. Now that that is done, I like my image scaling to be smoother. Normal over here, scale to fit the entire image, right? Again, screenshot these settings and just make sure that you match them up over here on the screen, right? We're not going to get into why or anything. We just want to get you up and running fast. Color management, I use DaVinci YRGB color manage. That's the color space. So when you come over here to color manage, I suggest you copy the exact same settings that I have here, or at least as close as you can find, if the free version doesn't have exactly what I have, but I do think it has. HDR for color processing. Output color space should be Rec 709 SDR. That's basically it. That's the most important things. Main thing that I want to stress on is timeline resolution, your aspect ratio, and your frame rate, right? So I'm going to leave mine at 29.97, and that's going to be it. Then you hit save at the bottom here. I didn't mess with mine because I already had mine saved, so make sure that you hit save. Now you're ready to import your footage. What I like to do is right click on this space right here. You can go to file and also import under here on the import, but you know, there are also manual keys that you can use. Go through the key list for DaVinci, but I don't like the keys. I love using the trackpad. So what I do is right click on the trackpad, or if you have a Mac, you could probably double tap, depends on whatever you have your Mac set up to right click. If you're on PC or laptop or on a mouse, just right click on your mouse. Now, you can't import media into the software unless the media is on your computer. So let's get some media onto this computer so we can get busy. So you take the SD card out of your drone, and you have to use the SD card. Yes, why? Because the SD card has the best quality image, and what's the point in color grading if you're not going to use the best quality image? I put it into an adapter because my computer has an adapter for a full-size SD card. It does not, my computer does not take the small one, so you might need an adapter like this. I'm pretty sure you have them laying around. So that's how I get my footage from my drone or drones into the computer. So I'm going to stick it into the side of the computer over here. Windows or Mac, it should pop up on your desktop, and here it is. It says Mini 2. Now if you're new and you're just starting out, just right click on your desktop and create a new folder, and you can name that folder anything. Mini 2 footage. Managing your footage is very important. You want to keep that as organized as possible, but if you're now starting out, just drop footage on your desktop, you'll be fine. But as you start accumulating more footage and you start color grading, you'll have to come up with a specific folder and then subfolders that help you to find your footage easily. Otherwise, it's just going to be a mess. All your footage is going to be all over the place. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to feel like you don't remember what's what, and eventually you'll find yourself not editing. So try to be organized from the get-go. If you know you have more than one drones, maybe don't name the desktop folder Mini 2. Maybe name it drone footage. And then when you open drone footage, then you have different folders for different drones like Mini 2, Air 2S, and stuff like that. But as you're now beginning, Mini 2 on your desktop is fine. Open that up. And I double click to open it up. That's my Mini 2 folder that I just made. And this is my SD card that says Mini 2. I like to label all my SD cards for my specific drones. So I'll go in my SD card on the DCIM, DJI drones, they're always on the DCIM, 100 media, and there is my footage. So I will hit Command A, right click again, and hit copy, and then I'll come over here to my Mini 2 footage that I created on my desktop, right click on that and hit paste. 12 items, and that takes all the footage off of the SD card and puts it onto your computer. That's where you want to be editing from. You want to be editing from your computer storage that's built in here, not from the SD card that goes in there. That will be a miserable experience. Those SD cards are not built to be edited from, and your workflow will slow down tremendously. It will not be a pleasant experience. So take the time, transfer the files to your desktop. See, just talking to you and it transferred. Now what I like to do, I hit Command All and I right click. You don't have to do this, but I do that, and I move to trash everything that was on my SD card because I'm having it prepped and ready to go film again. Close that up, eject Mini 2. This is just, again, my workflow. Everyone is different. The computer said eject it, and I pop it right back in here. If I need to grab this drone and hit the road for any reason, it's ready to go again. That's it for the drone. I've got my files on my desktop, on my computer, ready to edit. Now I will open up back DaVinci Resolve. Right on the media pool over here, I will right click and I will hit import media, and I will look for the media that I just put on my computer. I go to desktop, and there it is, Mini 2 footage. Again, come highlight all the footage, or hit Control All or Command All, depending on if you have a Mac or whatever, or just highlight them all like I did with the mouse. I'm very used to the mouse. If not, just hook up an external mouse if that makes you feel more comfortable, right? And then hit open. Boom, literally all of your footage just got imported. It's all here. Now I can hit Command All and highlight all of these files and drag them. Look at that. You can drag them in the timeline and they'll all appear in the timeline, or you can drag it right here and just hit append to end, and both will, and it will drag it down in the timeline. I'm just going to go with append to end. No, I'm just going to go in the timeline. As you can see, it really makes no difference. If you dragged all your footage into your timeline and it's coming up like these big blue bars, that's okay. You can shorten the bars and you can make the bars longer. So I'm going to squish the bars. See, I'll make the bars bigger or smaller. It's all up to me. So I'm going to go with small bars, bring this whole video down, bring it down lower. Before you start chopping them up, I like to look for music, because music complements drone footage. Not only music, but sound as well, like background sound. So if I'm doing trains, picking up audio of trains moving and stuff like that, really add a lot of value. Here's where things get exciting. You can leave DaVinci open, leave your files in here. I'll bring my files down. I like my files close to the bottom. This whole menu, drag up, you can drag it up, drag it down, do whatever, you know, makes you feel comfortable. Another thing worth mentioning is, as we're here, is a look at this little icon up here. When I hit this little icon here that says timeline view options, you can view the pictures, right? You can view them as full-fledged picture thumbnails, so you can know which particular clip you're working on, and then you can turn around and enlarge it too, so you could see the clip even better. However, bear in mind that when you edit like this, or you turn this feature on, you better have a really good computer, because it's playing not only the file here in real time, but it's also loading a preview here for you. So it's going to use more resources from your computer. So if your computer is not good, come back over here and turn the view to the plain blue bars and just leave it like that. Anytime you click on one of these, or you click on the pointer at the top here to move the pointer around, or the line around, wherever the line falls, that's the shot that you're on, right? So you can always move the line to see what shot you're on. Not only that, you can open the timeline a little bit with this plus and minus bar. This makes the timeline smaller, which is very difficult to work on. And this enlarges the timeline so that you can focus and narrow down and focus on each clip at a time. So you can click on your pointer and your pointer will show you. See how it changes? There in the preview window, your pointer will show you what you're working on. So don't make it a big deal if your computer cannot run the preview at the same time. It's not that big of a deal. So we're going to pop out of DaVinci or just leave DaVinci alone and come over here and open up Chrome so we can get some nice music to pair with your nice shots that I hope you went out and took those shots, because if you're just sitting and watching this video, 9 out of 10 is pointless. My point is, just make sure that you're taking action beyond just watching the videos. Waiting until you get a job to come and rush and watch these videos and execute is going to leave you nothing but confused and unprepared. You've got to get in the habit of doing these things now, over and over. Pop open Chrome, your Chrome browser, go to your Google search and just type in Google search YouTube free music. That's all you got to type, YouTube free music. And then a whole bunch of options are going to come up. Now, the one that I'm looking for, that I want you to look for, says youtube.com audio library. That's what you're looking for. This audio library here is YouTube. It belongs to YouTube. You're free to use it all over YouTube. I actually use it on Facebook as well, and on Twitter, and I've never had any copyright strikes or violations. The music is all free, right? So audio library, YouTube, click on that. I would also hit the bookmark button over here and bookmark this for future reference, because all of that will give you speed, right? When you have everything bookmarked and organized, your work begins to flow. And then you come back and you have free music, and they also have sound effects, which we're not going to get into this video, but sound effects, train in the background, stuff like that, you could grab those right here as well. But we're just here for the basics, music today. Free music will pop up and you could just hit play and see if you like it. Always have a pair of headphones going on. I like to zone out when I get into my artistic mode, but I'll leave it open just for this particular video. But normally I have my headphones on, I'm in the zone, so nobody bothers me. Come to the search filter over here, and I can search by mood or genre or track title or the length of the song or the artist name. But let's go with mood. I always go with mood. Something inspirational. Cities can be inspirational, I guess, or if you want sad or dark if it's night, or bright, and all kinds of ways to do your different searches. Let's go with dramatic and apply, right? And then you just play through. You hit this little download bar here, or you can hit the download button up here, anyone. I'll hit the download button, and then it's going to ask you where to download. Now, if I'm doing, this is also why I like to organize everything. If I go to my desktop and I go to my Mini 2 footage, where all my footage is in there, I'll usually save my songs in the same folder that I have my videos, so that way I can match them up, which songs were used for which videos. So yeah, I'll save it right in there. I'll look for 2 or 3. I like this one too. This one's actually pretty nice. Let's hit download on this one. So yeah, hit save, and it's going to save it in the same folder. Now both my video and my audio files are in the same folder. There you go. And there is a plethora of music out here. Like, I've been on YouTube for years, and this is all I have been using. Now there's Artlist and all of these subscription-based things. I'm sure they're great, but I'm a small channel and I need to keep expenses low. There you go. Now back in DaVinci, what I like to do is right click on the master here in this open space here, anywhere, right click and create a new bin. And that new bin, I will name it music. Do you have to do this? No, you could put your music in the same folder with your videos, but I just like a little bit of organization when I'm editing. And just put import media. It will default back to the regular media. Now you could see the music files up here, and down there is different from the video, which shows you like a thumbnail view. So I just select this one, command, and select the next one, or control and select the other one, select both, and hit open, and there comes both of my music files. Now again, you can drag this under here to have your music, or just drag a pen to the end and it drops it in the timeline for you. So here's what I like to do, and you don't have to do. This is where personal preference really comes in. I like to keep my music a little separate and just run through it. And kind of see if I'm vibing it, if I'm feeling it. Then I'll jump back to my videos over here, and I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, I kind of digging it. Now sometimes I'll just jump in right here and just start chopping these clips up. Remember what I told you in the previous video, that my clips go 1.5 to 3 seconds unless it's something that's really attention holding. Now as a beginner, that might hurt you, that might break your heart, that all this footage that I took all this time is going to get cut up into 1.5 or 3 seconds. So if you're now starting out and you don't want to cut your clips up like crazy, then you can try at least time it to the music. So let me grab the music, bring it back, just drag it back. So what I do is I press and I hold. If you're using your mouse, you press and hold on the clip with the left clicker and drag it all the way to the beginning. Good. So now that I've got my audio done and set up and prime and everything nice, now I move up to the video. So click on the video, you'll see the red bar go around the video. That means you're selecting video now. Now I'm going to scrub through the video, holding on the left, and just drag the mouse up and down to move around with it. Turn on the volume. The beginning part doesn't have much motion, but you can see here I start arcing with the drone. I mean, this arcing motion. So that's what I want, that beginning of that arc, which starts somewhere right there. So I highlight the video, hit X to cut. Once I've done that, now I don't want this piece anymore. I just drag the piece that I do want and bring it to the beginning. And that's going to be my beginning now. Look at it. Right? I'll turn up the volume. Now you see how I timed that? Doom, doom, doom. That could be a cut point, right? So go back again. See that? Timed it right there. Again. Right there as the beat, boom, as it bangs. I'll cut. I'm sorry, all of this I do not want. So I'll just delete it. There you go. Pull the next clip over. Let's start with the next clip. Now for me, looking at the clip, I don't like how it looks when the two trains are far apart from each other. I prefer the clip when the trains are moving in. So there you go. This is a nice shot. I kind of want the trains to fill the whole scene. So here I've got some cars moving at the bottom there. I got train passing here, train passing there. Maybe I'll roll back a little bit and I'll cut right there. Cut right there and then hit delete. Boom, I pull that clip in. And turn back my music. Let's see the next cut. There you go. Time it right, right? Timing is everything. And then cut. And then take that, delete it out. I got some space between here. Bring my next clip in. Cut. There you go. You saw it. You saw me cruising. That's all you need. All of this. Oh, this is kind of nice. We'll jump straight to here. Cut. Take out this little filler piece. Boom. And now we jump straight from the intro where you see the building right up to the building. Right? I actually think this is running too long. Yeah, it's running too long. So for me, it would just be like, and I would zoom out, or I would say zoom in so I could get a more bigger, expand the small clip so I can work on it some more. Cut it right there. You don't need to see more. Slide forward. What else we got? I'm right over here at the corner. Okay, you catch the turn. Cut right there and take out all of that filler. So now you've got 3 short pieces. Cut again to the music, right? So you kind of use the music as a gauge or as a guide to help you pull off the shots. All right, so this was the last shot. This was the last shot. Well, there's nothing to see here. It would have been nice if the city and stuff was in the background. So, sorry, clip, you gotta go. I'm looking for nice shots, shots that will hold the viewer's attention or hold whoever, family or whoever you're making this video for. And some clips like this, look at this. I got nothing here, right? So I'll just I don't have to use every clip. Delete you, right? Would you rather watch a clip that's 20 or 15 seconds long that's beautiful, or would you rather watch a video that's 1 minute long but it's boring? See what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to dump clips. Don't be afraid if you didn't get the shots that you were looking for. That's just another excuse to go flying again. That's the way I look at it, right? And then come back, check and see what you got, make improvements from there, go fly again, right? And you keep getting better and better, because you're not just flying, hitting record and deleting these footage or dumping them somewhere and never getting to it. If you never get to it, how will you know what you need to do from what you don't need to do? How will you know what to work on, what not to work on? How will you know what looks good and what doesn't look good? See what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to delete. Oh, look at this. Got like a nice little tilt up reveal here. Look at that. Tilt up reveal. Nice. Where do I want to start the reveal? How about right there? And delete. All this is fat. I don't need all this fat. You don't need to see all of this. All that, hit the delete button, is gone. Come right here. Roll up. Okay, that's nice. That's a beautiful intro like. And then you're rising up, you're rising up, you're rising up. Now, this is not 1 to 3 seconds. This is a pretty long clip. But this clip can be a little intriguing. There we go. We're all the way too far. I don't think you needed to see the city that long. As long as we clear this little chimney right here, boom, there goes the appeal. And we cut. I cut it right there. Why can't I cut it right there to the music? X. Take all this fat, trim it out. Next clip. What I can do with this clip, right, and this requires a little bit of imagination as well. Boom, I'm running it. I cut it right there. That's all I want. The rest is fat. So what do I do with this clip? I can zoom in. I can zoom in and just go to the zoom up here and just punch it in 1, 2, 3 times 4K. So I can get away with 1.5, 1.6x. Let's do this. There you go. Looks like a completely different camera angle. As a matter of fact, I can stretch this video even longer. Stretch it back out. Make it a little longer. Cut it right there. How about that? Made it a little bit longer. Close up those gaps. All right, now when DaVinci gets red up here, it means you haven't saved in a while. Just come over, hit File, and hit Save, and it's going to go away. All right, so you don't have to worry about your stuff being saved. How about that? Nice change. But changed into what? This stuff I'm not really interested in. What is this? Now that looks interesting as it starts creeping up. So let's cut here, highlight the clip, cut, delete all the fat. There we go. Turn up the volume, get into the vibes. There we go. There we go. Now we can cut this again. Right there. And the rest of this is fat. Delete. Turn the volume down. Look at my next clip. Boom. This is a nice, after the reveal, I gave you the reveal here. Nice. I like how it changed there with the beat. Look at that. In your face. Nice clip, but what I can do to this is speed it up. So I right click on this clip and hit real-time controls. Real-time controls gives you more control over the clip. So I hit real-time controls. Right now it's at 100% or 1. That means it's playing at the speed it was recorded at. If I click on this little down arrow over here, I can change the speed Anything above 100 is faster. Anything below 100 is slower. So I'm going to go full speed, 800%. Look how fast that clip is moving now. And then hit delete, bring it closer. Nice, right? Nice. I like this speed. And then the music changed speed too. So it was like, I like this shot too because it was kind of like rough rolling in. So I'll go real-time controls on this one. Oops, sorry, not real-time curves, real-time controls. And I'll speed this one up too, but I won't go 800%. I'll bring it down because it's a shorter clip. I'll bring it down to about, say 400%, half the speed. Close the gap. Now let's see how it handles that. Whoa, yeah, that was kind of wild, right? And then I'll cut here and I'll do real-time controls again. And I'll bring it, because it was 800, then I went to 400 and now to 200. So kind of make the whole thing blend off speed-wise. It's kind of slowing down. Full speed, twisting, slowing down, boom. And then this last piece over here, I'll bring to 100. And I feel like the music is doing a lot of the job to engage the viewers. So cut it at that cut point. Now you've seen enough of the train. I'll lower the volume and start running through now to see if there's anything else, because this is a pretty long clip. Cut. Now we can say bye. Cut this clip right here and leave all of this out. You don't need to see all of this. We'll give you a jump. How about that? Jump in time. So you go from here all the way to the end. It's like goodbye. Turn up the volume. See how it blends with the music. Right? It kind of blends. Turn it up a little bit if you're not feeling the vibe. Cut right there on the cusp. Cut up the beat. There you go. Delete. All right, the rest of that clip is dead. Here we go. We're going into some action. Got some twirly going on there. Cut all of that nonsense out. You don't need to show your mistakes as you were lining up. Yep. There you go. So we're rolling into it. Right there as the beat's about to change, and you could see it. It goes from one type of beat here onto a very strong type. All right, we're gonna cut that right there. So I kind of roll you into it. All right, and then from there, I'm not gonna, obviously as the beat changes, I want to take you to a different perspective. I like this, kind of moving away from the whole shot. Nice. So let me see how that works. There it comes. I'm revealing the city for you. In the city, in the city. Well, shot got spoiled there, but it is what it is. Chop it at the beat. Delete that. That's fat. Oh, there comes the birds. Cut right after the birds. Remember, it's video, so anything that gives you movement in video, you want. So birds moving, anything helps to capture someone's attention. All right, now that's pretty much it. The rest of these shots are like redundant and stale. Remember, I was only going out to do, I should have had a lot more shots, like a lot more shots to give me some variety, some much more close-ups, some much more action. So as the music gets more hype, I get more hype, the shots get more hype. But You get the point, right? What I'm saying. So here we go. We added our music. We chopped our clips up to our music. Now before the beat heightens up here again, right? See, it's about to jump here. I'll cut it. I'll highlight the rest. I'll delete it. I'll also cut my clip at the top to match up with the music. Delete the rest. I'll zoom in now, and what I'm trying to do now is looking for this little white dot and stretch that across. Come at the bottom of the music, look for this little white dot and stretch it across. What will that do? It's that simple to fade. That simple to fade and close your video up. Now you might want to put something at the end here, maybe like thanks for watching or something. So you just come over to effects at the top here and you will see titles. Click on titles and you have a whole plethora of titles here to choose from. You just grab one, highlight it and drag it onto your timeline, and there you have your titles. Now my title will start somewhere around here, and you can highlight the title, put the red box around the title, and that'll bring up your whole title section here. And obviously I don't need it to be title, it could be thanks for watching. Right, and then at the bottom where it says sample, that's the other piece, I can say drone X factor out. Something cool or cute or whatever it is. Come over here to settings, and that will allow me to position the whole thing, not just the thanks for watching or the drone X factor, the whole thing. I can slide left and right using the position, and the other position on the y-axis I can slide it up and down, right? So that's pretty cool. I can also zoom in and make it bigger if I want and still position it wherever I want. Right, so I can do that as well. Thanks for watching, drone X factor out. I can also fade it. Look, grab the little white thing at the end, and you can fade this bad boy out as well to fade out with your, let's drag him out a little. And then grab the white bar and fade him out a little. So here we go. Thanks for watching. There we go. And you want your thanks for watching to finish the same time with your blue clips. So there we go. And everybody fades out. There you go. Now for this, highlight the clip again. You can come back over to title, and you can do things like change the font. So I'll change it as you slide over it. See, it's changing. Thanks for watching. Look at thanks for watching. It's changing as you slide over. Let's go with bold. Right? You can also pretty much change everything about it. You can add stuff here at the bottom, like if I want to drop a shadow, you could drop a shadow background. If you want to put a colored background over it, you could do that as well. Right? Add a background. See, now darken out the background a little bit. Put a border around it. You know, whatever works for you. Play around with these things is what I say. You know, find something that looks nice that you like. Look at that. You could curve out the radius. It's pretty nice. A lot of these stuff, you just play with it, the opacity, how dark or black you want it to, right? How thick, how long you want it. It's pretty cool stuff here, right? Just push the bars and you see what it does. Let's make the track smaller again. Zoom out. So we're finished with the end. We've basically finished the end of the video. Thanks for watching, y'all. Fade out. Have a nice day. A lot of people say, oh, I come here for the color grading, right? Well, guess what? The color grading I usually do last, because the color grading puts a lot of pressure on your system, your laptop, once you start coloring. So I usually like to make sure I have all my cuts, I have all my music, I have everything lined up, and then I start color grading. For the Mini 2, there isn't much color grading that you can do. But I will tell you this. You have to leave this section over here, which is the edit section, and come over to this little color circle over here at the bottom here where my arrow is. Click on that, right? Click on clips. And clips will show you each clip. You could select each clip going back. Each clip that you cut up, you could go one clip at a time and color, one clip at a time, and color. So I like to start somewhere in the middle here, and I like to start with clips that have sky and ground and buildings and kind of have everything in it. So here we go. We got the train, we got the blue sky, we got the buildings, we got everything. Now I think the Mini 2 video looks great out of camera, so I don't touch up the colors much. But once you come to the color section, you want to hover between HDR. If you have a drone like these here that have HDR in them, the Autels, they have a lot of HDR. The Mavic Air 2 also has HDR in it as well, so that's good. But you could start on the basic color wheel over here, and you have things like temperature, tint, contrast, mid-tone details, and stuff like that. Now, why would you come here for an image that's already been graded? Maybe you don't like the tint, so you want to change the tint a little bit, right? So you just push the tint left, and look what it does. It gives it more green of an effect. You push it right, it gives it more of a purpley kind of an effect. And always remember, if you mess up over here and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get it back? You just double click on the word tint, and it comes back to 0 to what it was before. Same thing with your temperature. If you want to go for a warmer look instead of a cooler look, cool going left, warm going right, just hold down your mouse on the temperature, press and hold the mouse down, slide it right to get nice and warm, slide it left to get it nice and cool while your finger's on the button. Or you can do it with the trackpad, whichever one you find it easier, but just keep it depressed and you could swipe left, right, doesn't matter. Now, if you mess it up again, all you have to do, don't fear, just come over to where it says temp, double click, and it goes back to 0. Your clip is back to 0, and you do one change at a time. Now for me, I think it's a little too blue, and I'm going for more of a warm clip, so I warmed it up a little bit at 180. Another thing you can do is shadows. If you feel like the ground is too dark, I don't feel like the ground is too dark here. I feel like the ground is good enough over here. But if I wanted the ground to be brighter, I just push the shadows, and that will bring out everything on the ground and make it a little bit brighter. Right, so you push the shadows. I just upped the shadows by 8. It was at 0. And that's about it. I can make the color a little bit richer by pushing the saturation, maybe from 50 to 54 or 55, and that makes the colors punch a little bit more. That's about the most I'll do to the Mini 2. Sometimes I'll push the mids, the details, and that will make the image look a little bit more rich and detailed. Look, I'll push it. Not too much. If you push it too much, it looks over sharpened. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to push it here. I'm happy with how it looks. Contrast too, you can push that a little bit. It tends to make the image look a little bit darker, a little bit more rich, and a little bit more detailed. You push the contrast to the left, it makes it look thin and washed out. So I'll 0 the contrast. This is how it is out of the camera. Push it a little bit to the right, and I get a little bit of richness and darkness in my color. I'm good to go. I'm done. I've touched up that footage. Now, this button here that says clips, if you press it, it will show you which clip you're on. So I'm on this clip right here. If I come back to my edit tab, my mouse pointer is on that tip. See it right now? That's the tip I'm on. So if I press play, this is the clip that I'm on. I'll expand so I can see better and highlight this clip. Now, instead of coloring every single clip, instead of doing that, I'm just going to right click on it, hit copy, make the timeline smaller, highlight all of the clips on the timeline just by holding down the mouse pointer and dragging it over everything. Right click on any one of the clips and hit paste, not paste, paste attributes. What is that going to do? That's going to allow me to paste anything that I copied from the original clip into the rest of the other clips that I just highlighted. What do I want to paste? Well, all I worked on was the color correction. So I want to paste the color correction that I just worked on with that one clip. I want to paste that color correction to all the clips. So I highlight color correction, hit apply, and now all the clips have been color corrected across the board, all the same way. It's that simple. Slide it back from the beginning and watch it and make sure that you are satisfied. That's it. Now there are many more things that I can do to this, right? But this is just basics. If you made it this far, yes, the video is turning out to be extremely long. So what I'll have to do is leave the Air 2S log footage editing for another day. So I've got a few other videos that I've got to stitch in and some products that arrived that I need to review. So I'll touch up on those first and then I'll come back to the Air 2S editing log footage, I promise. Good, so we got ourselves a video over here. We've got to wrap things up and get this thing exported. So how do we do that? Very simple. We come over to this little rocket ship. That's to get your video up and out. So we head over to the little rocket ship over there and we give it a name. I don't know, name it whatever you want. You can change the location just by hitting browse and putting it wherever you want. I'm gonna put it on the desktop. Hit save and then come over to video and of course make sure that it says export video, otherwise it won't export the video. QuickTime is not the format. You want it in MP4 and then yes, use hardware acceleration if available because yes, it's going to help to export the video faster. Of course 3840 by 2160. It is a 4K clip, so you want to maintain that 4K. You can downsize it to HD if you want as well, but hey, you want the best possible image, it's got to be 4K. 2997, that's what it was shot in, so that we will maintain. Everything else just leave in auto. You don't need to mess with anything else. Jump across the audio over here though, and just make sure that that box is checked, because if not, you'll have no audio. Make sure the box is checked for audio. Come back over to video. You don't have to change the settings in the audio, it's fine. Come at the bottom here to add to render queue. Bang, it will pop up on this corner over here. Just hit render all when you are ready. Bang, the video will export. Obviously the faster your computer, the faster it will export. Literally, I'm talking to you here and it's about 60% done because this computer is fast. Link in the description section for this computer. One of the best investments you could possibly get. This thing is fast whether it's plugged in or whether it's plugged out. We can close DaVinci Resolve now, hit save, close it up, and here it is on my desktop, ready for me to play. If you're a Patreon, if it means you pay that $1 every month and you're a patron of mine, hit me up on Patreon. Send me a link to your video on YouTube on Patreon. I'll click on it, I'll take a look at it, and I'll give you some feedback on it. Give this video a huge thumbs up. Let me know if there are any other things in DaVinci that you want me to cover apart from the color grading, which I'll get more into detail with here, and I will do my best to cover it for you. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell to get notified so you do know when I drop the color grading video for this and all other tutorials that I like to put out on my channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you whenever I can. Make sure you become a Patreon, guys. Big benefits to Patreon. Get direct access to me. Any questions? I'm right here on Patreon. Support this channel and there's benefits. Last Mini 2 went all the way to the UK.